Welcome, Royal Family. You tuned into Healing Queens, the podcast, where the focus is motivation, support, and guidance for the growth of our queens and kings. I'm Emma E2K, your certified healing life coach. Welcome, y'all. Welcome. It's episode 80, and it's your health. Let me give a shout out to the sponsors. HealingQueens.org. That's Healing Queens with a Z.org. E2K Worldwide Services LLC. Florida Executive Maintenance. The Owl Sports Lounge. Their IG is the Owl Brandon. Make sure you follow them. Sober Life Ministries and Mama's Hip Hop Kitchen. It's episode 80, and it's your health. I want to go there. I need to go there. Your health. So as you know, I have a conversation, a thought process, and it becomes a podcast. But I needed to reach out to somebody that does kingdom business, that knows what taking care of your health really means, because she's out there advocating. She's out there helping and supporting. I had to bring my sister from the Shy, to talk about this topic. So with further ado, the special host with me today will be La Tere. Please welcome La Tere.
Bendición.
Dios te bendiga. I'm so glad you made it.
I made it.
You made it.
I love it. I'm so
excited.
excited. I'm ready. Let's do this.
And for the best topic ever. And we have a rep from Mama's Hip Hop Kitchen today. Yes. All right. So getting right to it, man. Getting right to it, how we do. I have a little information that I want to share. But before I do that, I want to give the flowers to my sis here. I want to give flowers to my sis, because we don't do that often, right? We see that other people are doing the work out there, and we're like, man, we wish we can do it, but yet we don't support the ones that do. So that's part of helping somebody with their mental health. If you see that somebody's out there really doing it, really out there in the streets, it don't cost nothing to encourage. Hey, keep going. Or what are you doing? How can I help you? How can I facilitate what you got going on? Right? Sis, we've been in the paint for a minute. This work is not easy, and we know it's not for everybody, but it's definitely for you, warrior sister.
Yes, it is.
For those that don't know you, they should know you, but whoever been under a rock.
It's all good. It's all good, because the world is so vast and so big, and there is definitely possibility that people were doing other things while I was walking through their neighborhood, right? And so so my name is La Tere. I am a cultural curator. I like to put together events, cultural events, to connect community, specifically around women. That's been my major area of focus up until this summer, actually. I'm shifting into young men. There's a lot of mother wounds out there. So just like working with the young men, it was that part. That's where I'm at right now. And other than, I'm an MC. There's like so many things that I have already done, but I've been able to kind of put it all together into this space, which is creating these cultural events that are sustainable, right? That we can try to keep doing,
right.
And that are about health, all the different kinds of health, but specifically around emotional intelligence, which is a solution to a lot of the things that we got going on. So that's me in a nutshell. Oh, and I'm a caretaker. I take care of my parents, my elder parents. So that's a really important part to the work this current stage. Yep.
Right. Oh my God. We can totally do a podcast just on everything that she's doing and got going on. But I just want to tap into the health portion of it, because she has so much jewels to share with us. So when we say take care of your health, like, we truly mean it. Like, we're not just saying, oh, go take care of your health and whatever. We truly mean it, because we know and we see how important that is. because we see it in our neighborhoods. We see it in our families, right? And the families that we service. We see how vital it is that if you don't go get checked, you don't know if you have that disease,
Thing.
cancer, that thing, right? And so if you don't know you have that thing, then you wake up one day and now you have passed from that, but nobody knew, right? How unfair that is. How unfair it is for you, how unfair it is for your family that you leave behind, right? Children, business partners, people that you start doing things with, and all of a sudden, just because you didn't go to the doctor. And I get it, it's scary. Some people it's scary. Some people it's not even a financial issue. They have the money, they have the insurance. They just don't want to go. They don't want to hear any bad news. But if you don't know, right, you have a problem, you can't address it to fix it.
Yeah, and I think it's really important as when we start talking about health that we go into like the space of like root causes around why in particular our community, the community that looks like you and I, right? Why our particular community is so funny about health. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that fear that was instilled in us has everything to do with just colonialism, right? Like the islands that we're from, like the neglect that the governments have had on us, using us as instruments.
That negative history.
Yeah, the negative, exactly, the negative
Well,
history.
negative but true, right? Because it happened.
Yeah, sterilization of the women, of course, reproductive justice for Puerto Ricans in particular. Puerto Rican women is like, yeah, they sterilized 1/3 of our population in Puerto Rico. Of course, women are not going to be checking themselves. It's a fear that you're going to go in for one thing and they're doing something completely different. Same with the Black community, right? Like same with the indigenous communities of Guatemala and all of these places around the world. And so I think that part, like we have to start there and like acknowledge that the institutions have really terrorized us. And now moving into, hey, what are we gonna do? Because we're dying.
Right.
Out of that fear, we're still living inside of that.
Right.
So I just wanted to mention that part.
No, thank you. Thank you. And then how do we address, or how do we tell the audience, how do we tell them how vital and important it is for them to go get checked, men and women?
Yeah, so I feel like we can tell people a million times to go get checked, and there's just already so many barriers that they put into that are in their minds, especially the fears because they've seen other people go one time and then after that they have cancer and then they're stuck in this whole situation with a family member that they're trying to figure out, and then mastectomies and like, right, all of these things that are happening. That is for the family members, it's terrifying. But what I wanted to say is I feel like the first way to go into the battle is, of course, sharing and saying you gotta go, but starting to talk about the actual, what is this, why is it that you don't go? And that's been my approach. Because it's like the emotion, like that emotional intelligence component is like, well, what's the emotion around it? What's this feeling that you have around it? And then we can start peeling the onion back from there and then help guide them help them see it themselves. That, wait, actually, you're right. I don't know why I don't need to be, actually, I'm scared of dying. So I should go.
Right. And take this medication or whatever it is that I need to take to be here longer for my family, right? For yourself, right? That's good. So I did a little research, and it's just these numbers, right? These numbers are just so high. So that right there should let you know that there's stuff going on, and we need to check to see if we are part of that, or if what we need to do for our health. So as of May 2024, about 38.4 million people in the US, which is 11.6% of the population, of those, only 29.7 million have been diagnosed with diabetes. That's just diabetes.
And the Boricua community and diabetes.
Come on.
We have here in Chicago, we have a diabetes center. in Humboldt Park in the Puerto Rican community. It was placed there, obviously, because that's one of our biggest things.
Yeah, lechon, rice. We're eating rice at 11 o'clock in the morning. The big plates of rice and beans and the pork and just
Frito.
everything else. Fried in that oil. I mean, okay. So we just tapped a little bit into that. High blood pressure. High blood pressure. Cancer, right? High blood pressure. 119.9 million adults in the US have it. Only 1 in 4 adults have it under control.
Look at that.
People, I mean, people.
And that's not just from food. That's from stress.
Stress.
That's from all kinds of other things that are emotional issues.
A lot of emotional, right? Cancer in 2024 is estimated that 2 million people in the US will be diagnosed with cancer. The most common being breast cancer, and then prostate cancer, and then lung and bronchitis cancer, followed by the mental health. So according to the National Institution of Mental Health, 57.8 million adults in the US in 2021, which is 22.8% of all adults, were diagnosed with having some sort of mental health issues. And so that breaks down anxiety, depression, right? That's all that mental health, anxiety, depression,
and takes you all the way
PTSD.
Yes. And takes you all the way to unaliving yourself. And
that comes from upbringing, right? Where we live, depending on where you live in the US. I lived in the Bronx. So, I've have witnessed things that I can't unsee. I've been like in the actual war, seeing people, dying, getting shot at, blood, like just helping, pull out a bullet out of somebody's body. Like these are things that you're not supposed to be learning or know because we don't live in a foreign country.
It's a first world country.
It's a first world country.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like still, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, and still PTSD, you still develop PTSD. I left New York, 40 years of living there, moved to Florida. I'm thinking, okay, I'm chilling, and then bang, I got diagnosed with PTSD. How I got PTSD? I know I didn't go to the army, I didn't serve or whatever, and it took months and months of therapy to really understand that I was fighting a war. Like I was fighting for my life all the time I lived there. Like I was in situations that when I tell people, they're like, there's no way. There's no way. In the USA, in the USA, in the Bronx, like there's no way. There's no way that you seen that you was in the middle of a shootout that happened. There's just no way. And I'm like, I wish, I really wish, because I can't even turn it off sometimes. Like it just.
That part. It's a video. It's a straight up video.
And it's a scent, is a memory, is a song, that, like the triggers come and you're like, okay, I got to remind myself, you're in a safe space. You're not there where you was at. You're not that young girl that was all in the clubs and all in the street and whatever. You're not who she is. But with PTSD, it's funny because it's not even, people say it's in the mind, but it really attacks the body. It's that body, because my mind is saying, okay, you're good. My body is just like out of control. I can't control my body.
It's still trying to survive. It's like on autopilot.
No, this is what I got to do. This is what we need to do to survive. So I didn't believe in therapy. Therapy was, I'm crazy. There's nothing wrong with me. Why I gotta seek therapy? Because they, if you say, oh, I'm seeing a psychiatrist, I'm seeing a therapist or whatever, they're looking at you like crooked eye. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, but what government would want their citizens to be well? So therapy is not was not a positive conversation within our community either, right? Until we started actually going to school and getting degrees. And then it was like, my prima's a therapist, or right. And then it was like, oh, she's the first that made it out of high school. She's the first that, like, those cycle breakers were the ones that started making it more comfortable to be in that conversation. Yeah.
And then actually, knowing people that have gone through therapy and seeing their transition, right? Where you're like, oh wow, I remember when you look okay, you look like you have a whole different glow and a whole different thing going on.
Yes.
Let me try it, right? Because
Yes.
let me try it. Let me see somebody, or let me get a life coach. Again, back then there was no such thing as life coach. Who you ain't telling me what to do in my life. First of all,
Yeah.
you ain't none of your business. How about that? Let's try that. Ain't none of your business. And I'm gonna pay you to tell you my business. That's happening.
It's just sad because for the most part, we just really, with the work that I've done, I feel like a lot of us just feel like that's what we deserve is to like for whatever reason,
Right.
based on how people hurt us, and then we've gone out to hurt other people not knowing better. Like you still, if you don't understand God's grace, then you don't understand and then you don't really understand forgiveness. You don't understand forgiveness of yourself. You don't understand, right? So like people are still badgering themselves and like hurting themselves, excuse me, being just harmful, have a harm lens, period.
Right.
And so things like that, all of these amazing opportunities that we have and these tools that are available to us more now than before. It just seems like I think this new group is shifting. I think it's more people like my age in their 40s, their 40s and a little bit above me that are still in this weird space of
I don't know.
No, because the younger kids, the youngers, they're like used to urgent care, right? They're used to, so it's more like I feel like it's more my age and men. The women, I feel like once you start seeing somebody in your family that has breast cancer,
you're gonna go check.
Yeah, you start.
But then it goes. Mammogram.
But then it goes back to like our institutions that tell us we have to wait till 40, then 44, then 50 to be able to get a mammogram, to be able to get this. And you know, these age ranges that they put us in, and it's like, no, I'm 35, you know, and I have this thing going on, and it's like you gotta wait.
Right. And there's women that are 35 do suffer from breast cancer. So
absolutely.
Right. So when they have to wait till they're 40, if something's happening 35, like, yeah.
So that piece around like, so that piece around like learning how to advocate for yourself really is why I say like the emotional intelligence component is you got to get your bearings straight around what you're experiencing, what you're feeling.
Right.
In order to then say, okay, it's like awareness, analysis, and then action, right? The 3 A's: awareness, analysis, action. Man, something's wrong. Awareness, analysis. Let me start looking because these symptoms, I'm going to get on Google and see what these, it may be these 3 things.
Right.
Hold on a second. I'm going to ask around I'm going to check in with my friends and do it right. Ask some people that I trust, my teacher, whatever. And then be in the action piece, which action unfortunately means you have to like fight and advocate for like, no, actually it's perimenopause.
Right. Right.
I have hot flashes and I'm 40, and it may say that in the little one test you did that my hormones are okay, but like I know there's something going on.
There's something, right? Because you have to know your body.
Exactly. But if you have a lot of emotions going on, then you're in an abusive relation, you have all kinds of other harm happening around you. The last thing you're thinking about is you can't even hear your body.
Wow.
You can't even hear your body.
Wow.
That's deep, right?
And that's part of health too, right? So for my, domestic violence, not only survivors, but the ones that are going through it now. I mean, if we're even looking at this right now, you have to just have to tap into knowing that you deserve better. That you are a being that God put here on purpose. Like you have purpose. What it is, I don't know, right? So you have to give yourself the opportunity to find out what your purpose is, because believe me, I'm telling you, you are amazing. You're beautiful.
Yes.
Like you are a light. And I know it's hard. I know it's not the easiest thing once you have something attached to you. We know. We know. But we also know there are resources out there. There are great resources out there. Don't be afraid to reach out. Do what's best for you naturally, because you don't want to do anything that's going to get you more, harm you more, or get you more stress, or him watch you more. or tighten that rope if he's even allowing you to go to the store or to go to visit family or stuff like that. But you got to know that something is just not right. Just something there is just not right. When he's telling you what to wear, what not to wear, checking the receipt, right? And what you
Timing you.
timing you.
Yeah, girl.
You know, you got to make sure, you got to be careful. Have an exit plan. Have an exit plan, create an exit plan. That's going to take you a minute to be able to do that, which is collect papers, mail them to somebody that you trust. If you can have a way to save money or have somebody save money for you,
Yes.
get a credit card and hide it. You know, it all depends, because sometimes some abusers are like really, really in your business where you really cannot do anything, and some you can kind of, right? Just be safe at the end of the day. Take care of your health. That's part of taking care of your health.
Yes.
This
Especially if you have children and the children are their health is off, because it's not just physical health, right? It's the mental health and everything that they're experiencing, what they're watching, and maybe what they're going through too, whatever that abuser is doing
right.
to the children too. So whatever you're witnessing and experiencing, what we're saying is we need to figure out how to make tomorrow better than today.
Amen. Amen.
It's our job and it's our responsibility, because everyone's life is unique, and everybody, you know, maybe this unfortunate experience is happening to you at this particular moment. When you get to the other side, when you work yourself out, you'll be able to do podcasts like Emma, right? And be able to talk about it and change people's lives. So there's just
Like
so
La
many,
we
like
out
me.
there doing the
Hey,
work.
yes. So yeah, the health, the mental health component, the physical health component, but you got to start like undoing the pain yourself. You have to
Right.
start undoing the pain and
And
talking
just
to.
realizing that it's not right. At the end of the day, we all have that within us when we know something is just not right. We may not know whatever, right? But it's something in our gut that tells us this doesn't feel good. Like this is not right. That's not the way things are supposed to be. And pay attention to that. Don't ignore that.
For sure, for sure. I agree. I remember when I was going through my DV situation, I was getting these crazy headaches that I couldn't understand. Like it was just these crazy, crazy headaches that I just couldn't understand. And it was before the actual physical part. It
So
was
your
so
body,
much chaos. Yeah.
the
So
body
much
was
chaos
already.
and confusion was, my head was like that. And then they went away once I got the relief and was out of there.
Right.
But yeah, you know, so it's a lot, but it's possible.
It's definitely possible. Continue to hold on to your peace and hold on to your health, because that's all we got, right? There's a lot of people that be like, oh, if I had money, I can do this, and if I did that, I did that. But if you don't have your health, you can't do nothing with that, no matter how much money you got. I know a lot of millionaires that killed themselves. They committed suicide, and they were millionaires. They had money. So money is not the problem and the end all of all.
I
Yes,
mean, millionaires that are in DV situations themselves. I mean, abuse is abuse in all the
yes,
ways. And I
all
think
the
this
way.
is really good that we're talking about money, because that's another type of economic health is a real thing,
Mm, mm,
right? Poverty is a form of harm.
right. Yeah, because
Uh,
if you have $2, right? You can't go get that salad and that
no,
good sandwich that costs us $10 or whatever, right? You have to get the cheeseburger with the fries because you only have $2. And so if that's all you have, that's what you feed your body. And then we wonder why obesity and everything else starts happening, right? Because of the way that we're eating. But it's poverty if that's all we're gonna afford, right? So
it's true. It's true. So that part, like having access to employment is a form of economic health.
mm,
You know, having
mm,
access to employment
mhm,
that's close to you, that's available, not that you have to be on a mission.
right,
Um, um, Economic assistance is a form of is a form of economic health. Financial wellness is a part of economic health. Like so the fact that we're living, most of us are living on this other end, at the low end, that impacts our health, and it is a part of our health.
Yes.
So just real quick, the piece around having access to quality food, here in Chicago, there's so many food deserts, right? You have to go miles and miles and miles to get to a grocery store. So everybody does the Dollar Tree, everybody shops at Dollar General, everybody, like, for real.
Right.
The compra is from that, which is all processed foods, so not everybody has an Aldi close, stuff like that, right? A little bit better quality food.
Walmart, even with Walmart, right?
Yeah, for sure. Even,
Get fancy with Target.
Yeah. So that piece, I was thinking about this, like, there's also cultural and, like, recreational health. There's people that are isolated, that are not having any type of cultural experiences, that are not, like, imagine being a Puerto Rican in a town where there are no Puerto Ricans, and, like, there are cultural activities, as a cultural curator, like, one of the things that I've noticed the most, and why I do what I do now, I'm highlighting that, other than being a rapper and stuff like that, right, is that I just noticed what cultural activities does for my community, for the people, what it reminding them of their tradition.
The nostalgia, right?
Like, that's so good. It jogs their memory. It helps other people create, like, a better, stronger identity, which then supports them in wanting to make better choices for themselves.
Makes them proud, gives them pride, right? Elevates the
also, yes, and giving people, for you to see your own people, like, healthy people within your community that are doing it vegan style, or, like, just shifting the way that we do things, shift the mindset, exactly. And so another piece is, just, like, having at churches and stuff like that, churches that have gyms.
Yes.
Right? Like, hey, just people that are putting things, recreational things, in communities.
Now more than ever, there are so many nonprofits. Google is your best friend. All you have to do is Google, type into your town, your country, your state, wherever you're at, and Google. There's so many nonprofits that are just out there trying to be of service. Utilize them. They, from paying somebody's rent to giving somebody food, like, they are, don't be too proud. And you're not begging. If you need it, man, get that resource. Take care of your health. Whichever way that looks, take care of your health. We just want to ask you to please consider it. Be mindful, right? And understand that this is a world that it's unprecedented. All the things that we've been going through, from COVID on, the way we had to live, the way we shifting and living, the way everything is online, and we're not even physically touching, or all that stuff plays a role in everything. So this is just a reminder, in case maybe you didn't think about it, or now seeing this podcast, you're like, wow, man, they made a point. Google, do the search. Go out there and take care of your health, because we're dying. We're dying in too many big numbers.
And if you don't do it for yourself, then do it for the people that you love, right? The question is, name 5 people that you love. If you're not a part of the 5 people that you love, there's definitely something. That's the beginning. Why? Why you're not a part of the top 5? Like, what happened that you're not a part of the top 5? And then if you actually feel that, so if you're not a part of the top 5, and you're saying that you absolutely love these 5 people, are, like, what does that love actually look like? Because you have to master love within yourself to then be able to know how to give it in a way that's, you may be in a way that's not harmful, because we may be thinking that we're loving somebody, but that's not the way they even want to be loved. We may be harming them with the way that we're doing it. And so, like, there's a level of consciousness that is required in order to coexist here. Right. And it's not about sounding like okay, but there is a level of responsibility for you yourself, because your self-care is really collective care. Because if you feel better about yourself and you have a little bit more information and more knowledge around what you got going on, that means that when you show up in the world, you're showing up with more knowledge, more information, and with a different kind of like certainty.
Oh my goodness, yes. That's so
Yeah.
good.
And like that part, that's your
And
responsibility.
that's contagious.
100%.
Okay. So just like when you come in a room and you're staring people down and then people will start staring back at you, same thing, you come in with a smile, people are like, it's contagious. Right. So the mindset, it's how you want to look at the world, how you want the world to look at you. But at the end of the day, it's really how you feel. And without no health, health is on top here. Without your health, we really don't have too much going on. So please go out there. If you don't have Medicaid, if you don't have insurance, there are free clinics. Google is your best friend.
There's definitely sliding scale. Also donation spaces. There's a lot of spaces that are herbs and different kind of things that's not even Western medicine. It's Eastern medicine. It's the Chinese medicine. It's a whole, right? Whether it's the Reikis and the tinctures, and there's a whole world out there of people that know this information, that want to give this information. Not everybody's charging for that information. It's unfortunate, right, that the world feels like everything is like capitalized or co-opted. But if you are a Black or brown person specifically, it is your right, it is your birthright to tap into all of the incredible medicines and all of the amazing different ways that our people were able to survive, so much so that we've made it to this point in our life, that we're here. We're the legacy of all of that. So we made it this far. And I hope that as you start thinking about what your contribution looks like, and that as you think about your purpose in life, that your health be at the forefront of it.
Yes.
Your spiritual health be at the forefront of it. Because I know that if it wasn't for the spiritual refreshment that God gave me around my bill of health and how important it was, in order for me, I have to be able to meet my blessing. I'm not just going to be running into my blessing here and there at 350 pounds. I couldn't do it anymore. And I still have things that I have to do, and I'm working on them, but I'm running into my blessings with a little bit more speed.
Come on now.
Yeah. And it's like drinking that spiritual, like it's a spiritual refreshment, and we all deserve to see what God has for us.
Yes.
To meet God's blessings for us.
Yes.
And not be so afraid of what's happening in the world that we can't find ourselves. You know, we're so hidden that we can't find ourselves.
And the way we collect or save money for them Jordans, and not wrong with Jordans because I got some, but we can save to be able to, go to the clinic and pay that sliding scale or whatever it is, to be able to at least know, get a physical. You have to be a doctor there, but at least get a physical so you have an idea. Okay, I got this. Maybe I need some more vitamins, and maybe I need, to drink some tea. Maybe I need to sleep more. Whatever it is, please, we're asking you just to take care of your health, because your health is very important. And what's not good for you. We all know that. At the end of the day, we really don't have to be told what's good for you. And some people that drink soda, maybe it don't affect them, but there's some people that drink that same soda and it affects them. So whatever it is, nobody has to really tell you. At the end of the day, you kind of know. Just, seek help. Do the research. There are plenty of nonprofit organizations out there ready to help you and ready to service you. Take advantage of them and really tap in. The local church, ask them. They all have resources that they can be able to give you. We have resources if you reach out to us. Latere has resources out there in Chicago, if you're out there in the Chi-Town area. Wherever it is, man, we'll make sure that we'll give you the resources that you need. But please, 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 I beg you, let your health be first. Because without your health, without your health is nothing.
So whatever town you're in, that should be the reference that you go to immediately. Like Chicago.com, right? My city, citychicago.com. city of
Florida.
Tampa, right? Or you're right, or Brandon, or whatever, wherever you're at. Like you should really, really plug into that because it's their responsibility to have a list of what you can have access to. So that's a great way to start. And like she said, churches and stuff like that. But I would really put the pressure on those that are getting those federal books.
Right. That right there. That right.
Mhm.
Thank you,
Man, thank you
sis.
so much.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I love you. Again, giving you some flowers for all that you're doing that people don't see. There's things that we do behind the scenes that, because of the work that we do, we cannot really talk about it. And, but I see you. I see you. I thank you. I salute you. And if no one else thanks you for what you do to them, I'm gonna step in the gap and just say thank you. Continue to do the work. It's not for everybody, definitely ain't for the weak. So I know it's for the queen from the shy to be able to step in and do it.
I
I love
love
you
you
so
so
much.
much.
Thank you so
Bendición. God
much.
bless you and your family. You guys are the best, and you're an amazing, amazing model for our community, for the world. You're a changer. You're like a shifter. You shift the rooms that you go into. You make people think different, and you give them an opportunity to like breathe. So
Mhm.
thank you for being relief for so many people. Like you're beyond essential, sis.
Oh, thank you. But
Beyond.
God,
Yeah.
but God. Until the next time, guys,
Yeah.
you already know. Peace.
Besito.